The Joe Rogan Experience.
We were getting like major athletes. And I remember I interviewed Chris Weidman, and he was fighting. He wasn't fighting the other guy.
Anderson Silva?
No.
Lyoto Machida?
I can't remember who.
Luke Rockhold?
It might have been when he was fighting Luke Rockhold. I can't remember.
What year?
This was about 2015.
Was he the champ?
He was the champ.
So the odds are it's either Vitor, Lyoto Machida.
Vitor. It was Vitor. He was fighting Vitor.
Oh.
And it was the first time I'd like sat down with guys who were trained fighters, and the calm. It's just like a calm and a peace that like I was trying to put my finger on. Like, what is that calm? And then I realized I get insecure, but I'm like got nervousness, and a lot of that is because I always in a situation know there's a probability that I could get fucked up. Yeah. Or if I walked around and I knew that 99.7% of the people I could fuck up, I'd be calm.
Well, Chris Weidman is calm like I would be calm if I was hanging out with 10-year-old girls and they were trying to tell me how the world works. And I'd be like, that's cute.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how the world really works.
Yeah, it's like that, yeah.
Especially when he was the champ.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was the champ, first of all, when Chris Weidman was coming up, and the limitations of Chris Weidman legitimately are the limitations of the human body, because his body started to break. He had knee problems and neck problems and back problems, but the limitations of his mind were limitless. There's a lot of these guys, and a lot of them are wrestlers, because I think wrestlers have the strongest brains, because the strongest minds, the strongest determination, because that sport is so fucking brutal. But these great wrestlers who get into fighting, like Chris Weidman and Cain Velasquez was another one. The limitations of Cain Velasquez were the limitations of his body, because he started getting shoulder surgery and back surgery and knee surgery, and then it all started falling apart. But when he was at his peak, Chris Weidman was a motherfucker, man.
Strong.
Not just, but the mind too. It's not just the body. His body was surely strong, but his mind was just unbreakable.
Right.
He would break guys, and Cain was the same way. Cain was a guy who broke guys. He would break them. Because I really firmly believe this to this day, that wrestlers, because there's no, like I had Jordan Burroughs on the other day.
Mm-hmm. He's a wrestler, right?
Olympic gold medalist, 4-time world champion, stud of a human being. And when you talk to him, you realize he's just so exceptional in every way. And one of the reasons why he's so exceptional is because wrestling has no glory. The people that get into wrestling, they do it because it's the pursuit. It's not like a Bentley and a mansion and watches and rings and all that bullshit. The glory is in victory. It's in the pursuit, and also in victory in the most difficult of circumstances, which is like amateur, high-level, world-class wrestling. It's so fucking hard. So the guys like Chris Weidman, the guys like Jordan Burroughs, the guys like Cain Velasquez, guys who excel in wrestling, there's a mindset that they have that's it's so interesting to be around them, because they are that calm. They have that there's a level that they've reached that very few human beings outside of wrestlers ever reach.
That's fascinating. Do you think that's changing now because they do have an outlet with MMA, which is great? Like they can go pro and become rich and kind of famous?
Some of them, but Jordan Burroughs doesn't have any interest in fighting. Especially his wife doesn't want him to fight, because he does make good money wrestling, just as an ambassador to wrestling. But I don't think they fall into the same pitfalls that a lot of the other fighters fall into. A lot of them, they just they get into fame and glory and all that shit. And Weidman never really got into that. He was just into smashing people.
Yeah, smashing. Yeah,
just
Khabib,
smashing people, like Khabib.
I'm going to smash your boy.
He's the perfect example. Yeah. Khabib's the perfect example. The guy drives a Toyota.
Yeah.
Okay, he's worth fucking millions of dollars. He's the most dominant fighter in any weight class in the history of the sport, and he is as calm and as humble as can be, while also being incredibly confident.
Yeah. Yeah.
And super religious.
Yeah.
Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't party, doesn't do anything. Is just dedicated to smashing people. I'm going to smash your boy.
Right, I'm going to smash your boy.
When he said that?
Alhamdulillah.
I'm going to smash your boy.
Somebody said to me, that's like Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction. You're like, oh, fuck.
It's greater because it's not fake.
Right.
And he did it.
Yeah.
And he did smash him. And you know what the scariest thing that he ever said? He goes, I want to change his face.
Yeah.
I want to change his face.
Yeah.
Whew.
How much is the mental bat? Did Conor, when he fought Conor, it was like, opposites going against each other,
Mm-hmm.
like that ultra humility versus that like, absolute boastful. Well, like, do you think Conor knew before? Just no. Like, you
No,
think
he
he
thought
went
he was
in?
going to win. And look,
Yeah.
he won a round with Khabib. He won the third round, and that's probably the only round that Khabib lost in his entire career. Like, there's an argument that maybe he lost 1 or 2 rounds earlier that are real close, but I mean, he's 29-0. You have to understand how insane that is, and then you have to understand the weight class he's in. He's in the 155-pound weight class, which is arguably the most competitive in the history of the sport.
Right.
There's like the arguments are like 45, 55, and maybe 70 are the most competitive weight classes ever, and he's the most dominant guy ever in the most competitive weight class.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a monster.
He's a beast, man.
And you're in that weight class, and you know you got to fight him. You're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Do you think?
You question everything about yourself?
Yeah. Do you think wrestlers on to that level have an advantage in MMA? Like, because you're just eventually going to get your hands on a guy.
Yeah, well, that's what he has an advantage in. I mean, when he wrestles guys, when he grabs them, you could see the look in their face. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is different.
It's like an anaconda got you.
Just different. Well, look at his last guy that he fought is Justin Gaethje, who's a fucking killer, right?
Yeah.
Smashes Tony Ferguson, smashes Edson Barboza. I mean, he's a fucking beast and a really good wrestler too. But when Khabib got a hold of him,
Yeah.
every time just drags him to the ground and almost submitted him at the end of the first round and then submitted him in the second round.
Well, he said he wanted to submit. He didn't want to hurt him. Do you think that was
Isn't that
true?
crazy? Yeah,
He said,
'cause-
like, I didn't want to do it that way because his parents were there.
Well, not
I
just
mean, that's
that.
some fucking ill shit to say. Like, I'll just wait till next round, do it a little softer.
Well, they were friends. Justin actually, they have the same manager, and Justin actually helped him cut weight earlier in his career. Because cutting weight is, I don't know if you ever spent some time in the sauna.
I have. I did some shows in Sweden. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a moment in the sauna that comes around like minute 13, 14, especially if it's like a
It's
hot
like minute
sauna.
3 for me.
When
Yeah.
you start looking around, you look at your watch, you go like, fuck, like, how do I do this? I want to get out now. And you don't get out, you stay in. And so it's like you need support. And like a lot of times guys will have guys cut weight with them, and they'll come and sit with you and give you support. Because like as much as Khabib is like, his mind is a fucking a vault, a bank vault. I mean, his mind is impenetrable. Even a man like him will use encouragement from other people and use support and love and friendship from other people. And Justin helped him cut weight.
Wow.
And I think they had a bond because of that. You
So
know?
when he fought Conor, he wanted to change his face. He wanted to smash.
Smash your boy.
And with Gaethje, he's just like, I'm going to beat him, and
Yeah.
I'm going to beat him the way I would beat a friend. It's like you're beating up your brother.
Yeah.
Like you go like, I'm going to hurt you, but not you're my brother. So it's going to like, I'm going to do it so you can.
He went to submissions faster than he has in any other fight he's ever had.
God,
I mean,
he's that good.
He's that good. He almost caught. He fought with a broken toe too, by the way.
Wow.
Snapped. Like he took they showed an X-ray of his toe after the fight. He broke his toe in training.
Right.
And a lot of guys would have pulled out of that fight. If you looked at the fight, I watched it yesterday actually while I was working out. He had his toes taped together.
Right.
That's it. That's the brace.
Right.
That's the cast.
Right.
A little piece of tape connecting his toes
Because when
together.
you break your toe, that's all you can do, right? Is really just
Yeah.
tape it up.
He's an extraordinary human being, and it's his mind. It's
Yeah.
his body obviously is ridiculous too, but his body is ridiculous because of his mind.
Yeah.
You know?
And he just comes from a place that, like, what did Joe DiMaggio say? Like, that's rich guys can't make the big leagues. He comes from a place that probably, like, getting in the octagon is like the easiest thing he's done in his entire life. I mean, those videos of him as a kid wrestling bears. I mean, it's like if you got to get in the ring with him, you're going like, how can I grapple better than a bear?
Catch new episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience for free only on Spotify. Watch back catalog JRE videos on Spotify, including clips. Easily, seamlessly switch between video and audio experience. On Spotify, you can listen to the JRE in the background while using other apps and can download episodes to save on data cost, all for free. Spotify is absolutely free. You don't have to have a premium account to watch new JRE episodes. You just need to search for the JRE on your Spotify app. Go to Spotify now to get this full episode of the Joe Rogan Experience.